The stars seem aligned not just for his present, but also for his future political space. I'm talking about none other than the CS nominee for the Interior Coordination docket, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki. He makes for a person of interest today on yet another exciting edition of Sister Brigade here on Haman Manyora's channel. My name is Richard Mwenje. Such a pleasure to have you on board. With me as usual is none other than the man himself, Haman Bond Manyora.
Yes.
That shot, my friend. You picking up from where Uhuru left?
I think so.
You think so?
It's important.
For the optics anyway.
Yes.
All right, so let's delve on today's conversation.
Yeah.
We are talking about the man who is making news all over the place.
Yes.
He is the CS nominee for the Interior Coordination docket. But let's begin here. How comes, out of the entire list that has been named by President William Ruto, it is only for actually Kithure Kindiki that has inspired so much confidence from whoever voted for Kenya Kwanza or Azimio? They find him as a true inspiration and person who can actually hold this docket. Why so? What makes him a cut over the rest?
Because when you put evil and good, light and darkness, truth and falsehood, you can see the difference.
From a list of 21,
he's just about
he's
the
the
only
light.
one. He's just about Professor Kindiki is just about the only name. And how you wish, if you are Kenyan, that President Ruto would have found 5 Kithure Kindikis to put in his cabinet.
We have had issues.
Yes. I mean, it's just about the only one. I mean, there are a few other people there, my friends. But surely, you need people of the caliber of Professor Kithure Kindiki to serve the people of Kenya at the level of cabinet.
There are those who find
clean, intelligent, and everything that goes. Young. You are looking for youthful people, for this country requires energy. Professor Kindiki is a young man. You are looking for education, this is a professor. You are looking for uprightness, you've never had him mentioned in any scandal. You are looking for his performance, he's did well as a teacher, he's done well as a lawmaker, his leadership in parliament is beyond reproach. I mean, just every single box for Kithure Kindiki is ticked. And there are many Kenyans like him. Why didn't the president put them in cabinet?
If we are talking about succession politics, and let's bring in now the Kithure Kindiki factor in here.
Yes.
There are those who find him and Ndindi Nyoro are those who wield power directly from President Ruto, whereas the other Mount Kenya politician actually wield it through the peripheral of the association with the deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. Don't you think now this factor somehow is also a threat to, DP's political future?
That's how life works. And that's how politics is. You can't have everything your way. In life, you can't have everything your way. In politics, you can't have everything your way. Certainly, there will be centers of conflict. And one of them, within Mount Kenya, is the conflict between Professor Kithure Kindiki and the Deputy President. Because traditionally, the Minister of Interior is a very powerful ministry. In fact, it does overshadow the Deputy President's office by far. Yeah. And even before Ruto through that executive order gave Matiangi's office the powers he gave. The ministry has traditionally, from the days of Kenyatta, Moi, that's a powerful ministry. For Kenyatta, because he ruled through the provincial administration. So the minister in charge of security was always the minister for internal security and provincial administration. It's always been powerful. Then we came under this new dispensation. Look at the Minister of Interior. Look at Michuki. Look at Saitoti. Look at Nkaiseri.
Interesting.
Powerful ministry. So certainly there will be a conflict between Kindiki and... but I hope they will find it within their space.
But there also seems to be a distant threat here to Kindiki Kindure's political future. Here comes the man Mithika Linturi, now also a CS nominee. If you are looking at the larger game of politics succession and also who wields much power and influence therein, we have Gachagua on the one plate, we have another Mithika Linturi on the other side, and Kithure Kindiki. Don't you think that this powerful conversation someday of either Minturi siding with Kindiki or with Gachagua could also help in shaping the conversation on future politics?
Don't bring Rinturi in when we are talking about Gachagua and Kindiki.
But he has overcome all political hailstorms this far to get even to the cabinet.
you can get to cabinet. How many useless fellows are in cabinet?
Do you have any in this particular
Cabinet has always had useless people. Being in cabinet is nothing.
Don't you think this one's an exception?
Kindiki is a powerful politician, a rising star with a very promising future. Rigathi Gachagua is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the most visible Mount Kenya politician with a future guaranteed for him, not just as the Mount Kenya kingpin, but as a possible President of the Republic of Kenya. So those two are on a different plane. But I don't see, Gachagua is not a man you can threaten. His space will be maintained.
It was almost started away when they were picking the running mate to the deep.
But he got it. That should tell you something. Nobody wanted him, but he got it. Now what does that tell you?
What could have ticked actually Kithure Kindiki out of that space of just getting the deep in nomination?
Because he was running against Gachagua. What else are you looking for? Kindiki was running against Gachagua. That's why Gachagua got it. Nobody else would have beaten Kindiki. Nobody. If they were considering Kithure Kindiki against any other politician within Kenya Kwanza, he would have had a run over them. But he was running against one Rigathi Gachagua, a.k.a. Rick G.
Son of Mamau.
Son of Mamau, I had forgotten.
But also, you know, Kithure Kindiki also a son of Mamau.
But the Mau in
Musa Mwariama.
Yes.
General Baimungi.
But you know Rigathi Gachagua is really Mau. Even the way he talks, you can see he's a Mau son. Running against Gachagua is not a joke.
It's never
and even Ruto will discover in due course, in due time.
If we are talking matters legislation over time, many people have actually equated Kithure Kindiki to James Orengo. You've seen them legislate and actually talk powerfully about someday revolution actually eating its own children, speaking boldly about matters graft, never siding with government on matters graft going into the future. Now he's marked right at the center of the Kenya Kwanza government. Yes. Do you think he'll still have that gut and confidence to actually speak out against the vices that those within the confines of the president normally do?
You know the problem with our politics, it breeds sycophancy so fast that even the people you respect, intellectuals and people who are supposed to be sophisticated, you give them a small office and you expose them to power and they just...
It could happen?
So I will not be surprised.
It can happen?
It will happen.
Come on.
Yes. It's unfortunate. There are very few men who can stand their ground, including yours truly. There are very few.
Who actually missed out on that list?
We'll go there. We shall join. When this government begins to fail, we shall be called.
To replace some individuals therein?
Of course.
All right, sir. Let's talk matters to do with now the larger game of politics. We have seen some of them have been left out, the likes of Ndindi Nyoro, sitting in the cabinet docket. Don't you think that this issue could actually potentially brew some storms and divisions therein? Because therein, there are names that were not supposed to be missed, as per the perception of many people from Murang'a and the entire Mount Kenya bloc. We've seen Ndindi Nyoro is not on that list. Also, a number of Mount Kenya politicians therein. Do you think this could have an impact on the unity of Mount Kenya come the 2027 politics?
Yes and no. But you know there are only 22 slots. I mean, not everybody can fit in that house. A house that can fit only 22 people.
People of Kiaru are saying Ndindi actually did an exceptional job than some of those who are named in there.
It doesn't work like that in politics. There are many considerations in politics.
Not just the optics on the campaign trails?
No, there are many, not just that. And then, Richard, government is huge. Government is big. Who tells you things are over? There are many things Ndindi Nyoro can get. Government is big.
Strategic placements, you say?
Yes, government is big. They are big. There are things that are bigger than a cabinet secretary in this in the whole configuration of government. Yeah.
So there is space for him.
Yeah, and even just being the man to go and take breakfast with the president once or twice every week, you can be very powerful.
Like Nicholas Biwott those days.
Yeah, you are not even a minister or anything. Like you are the man people find when they are queuing to see the president. When Ndindi Nyoro is having breakfast now, president. That is powerful. When you pass, now watu wamekaa for 2 hours, they just salute you.
He is a man, sir, who has actually risen actually from being the Tharaka-Nithi senator, moving on to becoming one of the best legislators in parliament therein.
Yes.
He is now there as the Interior CS nominee.
Yes.
Do you think for Kithure Kindiki, presidency could be a far-fetched goal, or it's something if he literally commits himself to it, it is something that he can achieve without it being such an arduous task?
You know, Kindiki has everything going for him. Top on the list is youth, age.
Capitation?
With age on your side, the sky is the limit.
How about the money factor in Kenyan politics?
You see, who tells you money is going to be what it is forever?
It could change?
Money is not what it was. Money is going to change. And who tells you Kindiki may not also get his own money?
He can match the financial marshals of the people like Gachagua.
He can get. Kwani Gachagua alitoa wapi? Yeah. Did he bribe God to be able to get the money he has? Anybody else can get. Money is something anybody can get. Even you, tomorrow, you can be a billionaire. There are certain things, like brains that somebody has, that you may not get. But money, anybody can get money.
I see.
Yeah.
The very last, for those who are looking at Kithure Kindiki's nomination as the Interior Coordination CS, and some say that he cannot even match the energy of Fred Matiang'i. Many say they could have just retained CS Matiang'i among a few others. For this particular docket, do you think Kindiki will do an exceptional job, far from what people expected of Matiang'i?
You know, everybody brings his style and his person and character to an office. So that was Matiang'i. That was his character. That was his style. You may go there and you are not very visible. You are not very noisy. I'm not saying he was noisy. You are not very bombastic, but you are delivering. There are people who can work from behind the scenes and they deliver. Each person brings their style to the office.
I see.
Yeah. If you look at people who have occupied those offices, they were not necessarily doing the same way Matiang'i was doing. Granted, Matiang'i had some level of success. I could add serious level of success. But Kindiki can go there, come up with his own style, and deliver even more than Matiang'i without being all over the place. One of the things I noticed during the tenure of Matiang'i and Kibisho, they did everything, the two of them, to the exclusion of the other people within the structure of the security docket. They dominated everything. So Kindiki could go there and revert to the old system where he delegates to other people to work. And you just coordinate.
I'm sure, sir, you've actually read Lee Njiru's autobiography, that one, The President's Statesman.
Yes.
He has been an insider in Moi's government over his role in power. And he has actually come out and revealed of how much those close to the president normally orchestrate a nation's failure, all thanks to their ill-informed advice therein and selfish interest. Kithure Kindiki is right now so close to power, wielding it directly from President Ruto. Does that somehow inspire the confidence that in terms of advice to the president on how matters public policy should be done, at least we can now sit back and say the government is in the right hands, the president is at the right hands of informers and advisors?
Yeah, the president's pressman really does open doors for us to see the workings of government inside State House and the other places. You see, in that docket of security, by its very nature and what it is, there is always constant interaction between the president and that minister. Always. They interact on a daily basis, several times in a day. In fact, I may think the president will receive many more calls from the Interior CS than he does receive from his deputy.
Like the CDF?
No, not CDF. See? CGF.
Like Kiboche, General?
No,
KD.
yeah, those ones are routine. They are scheduled routine calls. But you see, for the Interior CS, this is an active line, very active, very, very active. So there are things that are going on.
The worries
you always get. So for that reason, whatever counsel the president will have gotten from Kindiki as DP, he will continue getting it because of the constant interaction between the two.
At least something to smile about.
Yes.
All right, well, that takes us to the wrap of this conversation today on Siasa Brigade, talking matters, Kithure Kindiki's political future, and also what entails his current docket, that is the CS Interior Coordination that he has been nominated for. We wait to see how things will roll out in terms of his future political prospects. My name is Richard Mwenja. Such a pleasure to have you once again. Remember to tune into our other conversations on other shows. We have Kimathi on the Let's Talk Love, other YouTube show that we actually have here on the channel. We have Jadiel Kabiro coming in with a political conversation. Simon Irungu with a big question, and also Evans Okinyi with his candid talk. Not forgetting public opinion with one and only Kennedy Kimtai. Until then, God bless. See you.